All right, here are three things you need to know right now. A big win for Democrats after a sweeping climate and economic package passed in the Senate on Sunday. The Inflation Reduction Act now heads to the House, who will return from recess on Friday. Let's bring in our very own Yahoo Finance senior columnist Rick Newman for more analysis on Rick. Some clear winners and losers. What's your hot take?
It's definitely a win for Democrats. Now, this is called the Inflation Reduction Act, as we've been saying ever since the bill materialized a few weeks ago. It's not going to reduce inflation, so let's dispel any expectation that it's going to make a difference.
Not even in the longer term?
I don't think so. I mean, you can look at the macroeconomic effects over 10 years. I don't think anybody's ever going to notice if we gain, inflation is 0.2 of a percentage point better than it would otherwise be. What I think this kind of bogus name allows Democrats to do is, if inflation does decline by the end of the year, guess what they're going to say? Oh, we passed the Inflation Reduction Act and we did it. So it's kind of a credit claiming thing, anticipating that inflation will decline. But just to go back to some of the big provisions in this bill, it's about $370 billion for green energy investments. That's probably a good thing. I mean, critics say there's no larger coherent plan. But when is there a larger coherent plan? There will probably be some breaks for seniors getting prescription drugs under Medicare. There's now a $2,000 annual limit on out-of-pocket expenses. There's a cap on the amount people in Medicare will have to pay for insulin each month. So that is something that people will actually feel. And then there's about $80 billion during the next decade for better enforcement at the IRS to close the so-called tax gap, which could be between $500 billion and $1 trillion that Americans owe in taxes that they're not paying because the IRS can't go after people who are evading taxes. So there's a smattering of other things in the bill, of course. But I think the important thing for Democrats is this bill is not going to really do much harm, if at all. So there will be modest tax increases on some businesses. But, a year from now, it's not going to be like the economy is going to crater and it's going to be clear that this bill caused that. It's probably not going to do no harm, no measurable harm, and some good over a period of time.
No harm to the wealthy, right? No harm to the wealthy.
Not much. So you could say that the modest increase on business taxes could hurt shareholders a wee little bit. I mean, the market has not really indicated any concern about that. So no tax hikes, no increases in the corporate tax rate, and definitely no increases in individual income taxes.
Does any of this change the midterm calculus?
Marginally, this is good for the Democrats, and it could help in the Senate. So think about Mark Kelly is a senator running for re-election in Arizona. So Mark Kelly is able to say, I got $4 billion, along with Kirsten Sinema, who's also from Arizona. She's not running for re-election. Mark Kelly is. He's able to say, look, I got $4 billion in drought relief funding for Arizona. Also the CHIPS Act, which Congress passed just a couple weeks back, that will benefit businesses in Arizona. So for a couple Democratic senators on the margins, yes, it could help Democrats keep control of the Senate. I don't think it's going to help them keep control of the House because the odds and the numbers are just really heavily tilted against them.
Yahoo Finance's own Rick Newman, thanks for helping us break this down.